No, this is not a video from 45, 50 years ago. I'm almost out of vintage video for the channel, so I'm going to try a little something different. I'm going to let you ride along with Steve and I today as we take a little trip down to Alabama. I'm going to be riding my Royal Enfield Hunter 350. All I have ever ridden, as you've been seeing on the channel, is dirt bikes or road motocross. I've never ridden any road bikes or anything, so I'm not familiar with the big bikes. So when we decided to get another bike, I thought it would probably be wise to stay with what I was familiar with. So I purchased this little Hunter. It fits me well, it's light, I've got an upright setting position on it, I'm able to stand up on it, all the things that I'm familiar with. Julie and I, when we first decided to get some bikes again, decided if we couldn't pick it up, we didn't need to be riding it. So we've both got us some bikes that we can handle. Now, of course, Steve, he's riding his Kawasaki Versys 650 today. He's all familiar with the big bikes. He's had the Gold Wings, the Shadows, the 1100 BMWs, and now, of course, he's riding this Versy, but he's decided he wants a little something smaller too. So that brings us to our trip today. We're heading down to Alabama to meet a fellow that has a nice little Honda CB500F, and he and Steve are going to try to work up a trade. So we're going to head down there and see what we can do and see what we can bring back, and I guess I'll take you along with us and see how this works out. I'll try to make it interesting and give some commentary along the way and different things, and just let you enjoy riding along the trip with us. This community that we're going through here is called Dunbar. My understanding is back in maybe the 1800s or earlier, there was a Mr. Dunn that owned a bar here in the community, and people would go down to Dunn's bar. And the name kind of stuck. It got shortened to Dunbar, but today now there's a whole community associated here around what we call Dunbar. For those of you familiar with Bass Springs Raceway, well, right here on the left is where it was at. If you've watched the tribute that I posted on the channel to Bass Springs, that's where it all happened at. we would race there on a Saturday night and have motocross and lots of fun. And of course, the local guys here, we were fortunate enough to have a track close to us. Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, Russell would turn the lights on for us, and we would have practice in the afternoon hours and into the night, and be prepared for the weekend. Another interesting piece of history you might be interested in is we're fixing to pass Red House Cemetery. Now that name came from, I understand, an inn that used to be here back when Mr. Dunn had his bar perhaps, and people coming in off the river and traveling by horseback or wagging would stay here at the inn. It was called Red House Inn. And so now, of course, that's all long gone, and I think there's perhaps maybe a little old wood trail or road that goes back in there where the inn used to be, but for the most part, all that's left here is what's called Red House Cemetery. Then on down the road here, at the next turn we're going to make, it's called Three-Way. And there used to be an old single-room schoolhouse set right there on the right as we make our turn. It's no longer there, and most of those have all been torn down now, but I do remember when it was there. I don't remember when it was an active school, but I remember the old building sitting there. Here we have the Clifton Bridge. I'm always a little bit leery when I go over it. As you can see, it's got some waves in it. You're kind of dipping up and down as you go across it. And before this bridge was finished and during its construction, it collapsed and fell in the river. And if I remember correctly, there were some fatalities from some of the workers that were working that day in the construction. So kind of sticks in your memory, and when you go across it, that kind of comes to mind. So yeah, it's always kind of lingering there when you cross this thing. Okay, last turn to the right, and next stop, Savannah, Tennessee. Wow. I know you guys couldn't hear that. When he came by me, that thing was so loud. If I had been my little fainting goat, Gracie, I would have just fell over. I bet he's doing 100 miles an hour. Gosh, ain't no way my little hunter would go that fast or even want to go that fast. Just looky there. He's already gone out of sight. Can't even see him anymore. That's amazing. Just don't think I'd have any interest in going that fast on a motorcycle. Well, there's where we used to exit off and go to Bruton's Branch. Those that remember, boy, was that a fine place to ride dirt bikes. Steve and I, we did a lot of riding there back in, let's see, mid to late 70s, I guess. Skipped school one day to go try to climb the big hill. Neither of us was successful in ever climbing that big hill, but I tore a good motorcycle up that day trying. But it was a great place to ride. Man, trails you could ride all day long. Never cover the tracks twice. Just a wonderful place to go ride and spend the whole day riding. Little old country store out there, go get some beanie weenies and crackers, and one of the best meals you ever had when you was out like that riding. Wonderful place. Anyway, if you can remember Bruton's Branch, that was it right there. This is not the first time that Steve and I have rode this trail. Back in the late 1970s, we made a trip down to Opelika, Alabama to buy a well driller. We went in my old 64 Ford pickup, and one of the headlights had a bad ground on it, so every once in a while we'd have to stop, pull off the road, and I'd have to get out and beat the headlight till it would come back on, and then we'd proceed on toward our destination. The funny part was, though, on the way back, funny now, not so funny then, was I had to stop and get gas. And we pulled over to this service station, and I took the gas nozzle and started trying to put it in my gas tank, and it wouldn't fit through the hole there at the filler tube. And I kept pushing and twisting and wondering, well, why is this thing so hard to fit in here? But I finally got it in there and filled the truck up. But when it kicked off, the fuel sloshed out of the filler tube and started to run down the side of the truck, and I noticed it was running down real slowly, like it was real thick or something. And I followed my hose over to the pump and realized I had filled the truck up with diesel instead of gasoline. Well, I went inside the service station and told the guy at the counter, I says, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have filled my truck up with diesel out there. And he looked at me just as serious as could be and says, well, the first thing you're going to do is pay for the diesel. So I paid for the diesel, and he did let us push the truck out of the parking lot. We pushed it out there in a field, and I siphoned the diesel out there on the ground. Probably couldn't get by with that today, but anyway, siphoned as much as we could out and went back and filled it up with gas. And we made it home just fine. Smoked a little bit burning the diesel, but mission accomplished. Well, Steve says it's time to pull over and get some gas, so I guess we'll stop up here at this little station and see if we can't fill that Versy up. All right, we're all gassed up and ready to go. Point everything down toward Florence, and I've pulled a dummy here. I've started up the do not enter route. I guess I better not go up there. Somebody may want to come in while I'm sitting there. Guess I'll have to turn it around. It's best to read these signs before you head out. Yeah, always read the signs. Yep, Steve saw what I did. Unfortunately, he couldn't stop me. Anyway, just another one of those days, headed that way. Okay, here we are, McFarland Park. Turn in here and see if this fella's here waiting on us. See if we can make a trade. Yep, looks like he's there waiting on us. Okay, let's see what we can do. Well, looks like the trade is made and Steve is a proud owner of a Honda CB500F. Now we just got to turn these things around and point it back toward Tennessee. See if we can get them home. Oh, Steve's got his flashers on. Hey Steve, your flashers on, your flashers on. Let's see. Yep, that button over there. Oh. Yeah, there you go. Boy, it's a pretty bike. That's nice. Okay, hope y'all enjoyed the trip. Steve's got a new bike, and might let y'all in on the next ride we make. See y'all later.